In 1909, in the midst of the argument over ladies' cars on trains, one group of white Chicago women took advantage of the public eye being on women's mass transit experiences to lobby for adjusting the handrail height on subways to better accommodate women. They also called for streetcar steps to be lowered so that women in their skirts would be able to climb them more comfortably. San Francisco women called for similar changes on the city's famed cable cars. Demanding access to public transportation and fair treatment, African American women launched protests against the spread of Jim Crow racial segregation in Washington, D.C. and elsewhere. Cities at the height of the industrial age needed new infrastructure to move, house, and otherwise accommodate their growing populations and size. Women took advantage of this moment of rapid expansion to mount what historian Maureen Flanagan calls an intrusion into political and economic realms. They campaigned for altering the built environment to better suit women, for better services, for access, and for new institutions geared toward the needs of the women who had begun to occupy in ever greater numbers and more visible ways the public spaces of early 20th century cities. These initiatives, and the arguments behind them, spoke to the options women found in early 20th century cities. They also suggest the way some urbanites of this period imagined cities might develop if they were truly to recognize women's presence and contributions. Going beyond women's right to be in public, discussions of what could make cities good for women often merged with other discourse. White reformers tended to tie their efforts to the language of urban boosterism as they strove to promote growth and civic order. African American leaders sometimes used a similar language of progress. Even when aimed at the obstacles women faced, however, their approach to infrastructure and institutions framed the work as part of a broader race rights agenda. Championing the cause of working women also served as a means for some women from the more elite classes to enter the public realm of urban politics. Filtered through the language of civic good and progress, the relatively privileged women advocating reform spoke most often of the needs of others: new arrivals, travelers, young women, working women, African American women, immigrant women. But by arguing for new and altered infrastructure, demanding policy and legal changes, challenging racial segregation, and establishing services and institutions, women reformers gained authority in the public sphere, as well as a place to have lunch when they were downtown.